Memories fade away, wither out, but I can't ignore the ache. Lying deep underground, you must have lost your way. Look around, all we can do now is pray. Make it count. Time lived through water habit, seen pain you can't imagine. These days you take for granted, we fall out so you could have them. This truth you hold for ransom.
Okay, hi guys and welcome to my video. Please don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. These videos are very important to me, so share them with women, men, anyone you know that might have endometriosis. Ooh, there's a hair on my lip. Yeah, so share my video so that people can be more aware that excruciating period pains are not normal. Any type of pain relating to that is not normal. But today I am gonna talk about the signs and symptoms and how to deal with them if you currently cannot go to the doctor, because I know that because of COVID the hospitals are mainly focusing on COVID patients. You go there, you're probably gonna wait for 24 hours and then they're gonna send you home, and being in pain for 24 hours is not a nice thing. So I am here to help, to give you tips on how to soothe the pain or other symptoms that you might be feeling. It doesn't have to be endometriosis, but these symptoms work for regular cramps, regular nausea. These remedies, I should say, they help for nausea, cramps, stuff that we experience with this condition. For those who don't know what endometriosis is, I will try to leave a definition right here. Hopefully I remember to put it in, and let's get into this video. So the first thing, number one, is how to identify that something is wrong. Alright, so for me, I feel pain every day, but before I would start to feel pain like days before my period, and I would have the urge to go number 2 poop. I continued to have the urge, and while I was bleeding, I don't think I was a heavy bleeder, but kind of close. Probably it was just heavy some of the time. It depends on my stress levels. So when your back is tearing out, your belly is tearing out, it is preventing you from moving properly. It's preventing you from carrying out your daily activities without having to stop and hold your stomach or having to rush to the bathroom. Once it's affecting your daily life, then you should think about going to the doctor. You should probably mention this condition to him. You have other conditions that have the same symptoms. You have PCOS, you have IBS, you have adenomyosis, yes, and you have something that has to do with the endometrium. So all of these things, they basically give you the same symptoms. So in order for you to know, you would have to do like tests, etc. But remember, we're telling you all of this because suppose you cannot go to the doctor and you realize that, oh, you feel like you're gonna die because of this pain you're having. Alright, some people use a heating pad. That doesn't work for me. I prefer the cold, but that is one thing you can use if you didn't know. The next thing is how to cope with the reality that you might have endometriosis. Alright, it is not a death sentence. I've been living with it. It's something you're basically born with because your body basically malfunctions and it stores the blood outside of your uterus, and then that's when it starts to affect you. You start to cause inflammation in the body. It starts to make you feel nauseous. It starts to make you feel excruciating pain. It started to make you uncomfortable. Your belly is distended and swollen, and you're uncomfortable. So the best thing is to try to be around people that are supportive. Do not keep negative people around you. Be careful of who you tell what you're going through, because people can target you. So that's some of the negative stuff. But speak to someone, your best friend, and let them know that you think that something is really wrong with you. And when you find out that's endometriosis, it's not the end of the world. Please, you have people who have committed suicide because they can't deal with the pain anymore. You have people who do surgery and they're living a better life. You have persons who they went the herbal way and it's working out for them. But they have to understand that there is not a cure. Most people eventually they take out their uterus, which is a hysterectomy. Alright, it's not the end of the world. They love to tell you to try and have a child, and sometimes you're infertile, but the other times that you are still fertile, you're just having pain. So that's another thing differently. Alright, how to convince your family and friends that something is wrong. How to convince your family and friends that something is wrong. If you have to roll up on them and ball, you do it. If you have to put them in front of the computer and say, look at this, the symptoms that I'm having. I can have this. I could have endo, I could have adenomyosis, I could have PCOS because I'm bleeding, because PCOS is when it makes you bleed a lot, and it kind of affects your infertility. I do have PCOS, but as far as I know, my ovaries are okay. I don't know if they're still okay, but when I do my test soon, I will know. Alright guys, so trying to build up my channel. Number 4, tips on how to lessen your symptoms so you can have a better life until you can actually see a specialist. So seeing a specialist is very expensive for most people, especially if you don't have insurance. Going to the hospital and sitting and waiting is really a no-no with endometriosis, because the pain, if the pain is just being constant and gut-wrenching, you're gonna be traumatized waiting there to get seen by someone, because COVID has taken over our health system. Alright, so for me, for cramps, you can boil cinnamon leaf. You can use cinnamon leaf tea. You warm the water and you pour it on the cinnamon leaf and let it draw. Then you strain it off and you add your sugar. If you don't want to use sugar, because sugar can make your belly hurt as well, you can use honey, or you can just lighten there's also thyme tea. You can do a thyme tea as well. Thyme is thing that you season food with. Here you can make thyme tea the same way you would make the cinnamon leaf tea. You can drink you can drink Pepto-Bismol if you're having diarrhea. If you're in the USA and you're having IBS related symptoms with your cramps, you can take Ibigard. You can drink peppermint water. That will soothe your stomach, especially if you're actually nauseous. So those are some of the things for certain symptoms. For pain, I take morphine because other painkillers doesn't work, but you can take Baralgin. Ibuprofen is over the counter thing. You can take Advil liquid gel. You can take Panadol. You can take Cetamol menstrual. For those at America, probably have other pain meds. You can take those in the meantime until you can see a doctor. But don't wait until the pain is so bad that you can't. When you feel the pain coming on, you need to go and try to take something. The longer you wait, the worse or the longer you're going to take to feel better. If nothing is helping after a day, seek medical attention. So if all of what I just told you to do does not work, then you're gonna need to find a doctor. I don't know if all hospitals are full, but probably you can try a health center or something, but it would be best you find a doctor that can help you soothe the pain, even if they don't know what's wrong with you in the moment. They can prescribe something to help, because they are a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just talking from my many years of experience and what helps me and what I've seen help my friends that also have endometriosis. So do not omit any of your symptoms when you are talking to the doctor. So people tend to omit certain things when talking to the doctor, such as, so they tend to omit things like they are scared to tell them that they have painful intercourse. They're scared to tell them that after intercourse they have to go do number 2 poop. That is a symptom. And they don't tell them that all of them are hurt them. They just say, oh, my belly's been hurting me, and that's it. They don't tell them, oh, they feel nauseous. You have to tell the doctor everything so that they can look into everything and diagnose you properly. There have been persons who have been misdiagnosed for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years before they found out what they actually have. But that be adenomyosis, IBS, endometriosis, all of them have the same symptoms, and you have to rule out everything so you can know exactly what's going on with you and a proper diagnosis. So you have to tell them your symptoms. You cannot, it is your doctor. Your doctor is supposed to be confidential, and you're supposed to trust in your doctor in order for the doctor to help you. The next thing is ask about treatment options so you will know what to do. Alright, I say that because sometimes they're not telling you that there are other stuff you can do. They just want you to come back to Dr. Vimy so that they can make money, because that's the way that they make money. If they're not giving you treatment options, you can always Google treatment options. You have acupuncture, you have therapy, whether that be physiotherapy or if you need counseling, because sometimes it makes you depressed. You're gonna need to be on antidepressants, or you're gonna need counseling. Just try home remedies as well if you feel like the medicines aren't doing much for you. Yeah. So, and also ask them stuff like if you're gonna need to be on birth control. Some people that want to know if they're gonna be able to have kids. So birth control does prevent you from ovulating at the time. Once you stop taking it, then your fertility returns. And the myths people have been saying for years is that birth control destroys your fertility, and that is not true. Birth control does not destroy your fertility. If you notice, when people are doing IVF, they inject themselves with birth control, with hormones, so that they can know their cycle, and they can know when they're going to ovulate. So they're trying to control and manipulate the cycle so that they can fertilize the eggs. Alright, so how to feel about infertility. Alright, so if you've been diagnosed with any of the conditions I mentioned before, and you have been trying to get pregnant and you're still not getting pregnant, but you can't afford the other fertility treatment. Some people can afford it, but the fertility treatment is not working. Do not give up. Consider getting like a cleanse to cleanse your body. Pray more. Prayer helps. Prayer gives you faith. If it is not the will of God for you to have a child, I think If you're willing to adopt, you should do so. There are many children out there that need homes. Sometimes you may have a niece or a nephew. You can show them love. Infertility is very depressing for some women. For me, it's not that bad because I've had time to think about it, and if I don't have a child, I don't consider that it will be the end of the world. Anything is possible to God, and if it's the will of God for me to have a child, then I shall have a child. Number 9, getting pregnant does not getting pregnant does not cure endometriosis, and doctors keep still asking persons to get pregnant because they think that is going to help their symptoms. No, they just want us to get pregnant so that when they're ready for tell us if I take out your uterus, you won't feel that bad because you already have a child. But what if you want 10 children? And some people, they have a child, and after they've had that child, they are so sick that they cannot take care of the baby, or during the pregnancy it becomes very complicated. They end up with a lot of complications due to the fact that they have a lot of things going on inside their body, adhesions, which are scar tissue, lots of inflammation, irritation of your organs. Remember that your stomach will be expanding, and it can, wear and tear, pull and stuff that are matted up by these adhesions. They don't think about that stuff when they're trying to get pregnant. They just tell you to get pregnant because that's what they learn in medical school, that getting pregnant helps endometriosis. It doesn't for everyone. Some persons, they actually get the symptoms after. They never have any pain or anything like that before, or they just had like normal cramps, and then after they've had their lot, they started to feel pain, they start to have symptoms, and then they get diagnosed of having endometriosis, and they ask if you have a child, you say yes, you have 3 children. What they're gonna tell you next? They're gonna try birth control with you and all them stuff there, and then they're gonna tell you to take out your uterus. Some persons, they do have hysterectomies and they still are having pain because they need to understand that it's not just your uterus, it affects everything on the outside. For me, it's even affecting my lungs, it affects my intestines, my bowels, it's all over. And I do not think it is really impossible for them to see every endometrial fragment inside me, unless that's gonna be a very, very, very long surgery. But there always gonna be something hiding. The only thing is that you might feel better because most of the stuff gone. That's just my thoughts. Alright, so number 10 is endo symptoms differ in everyone. Find a support group. You are not alone. Alright, I think this is the last one. The symptoms are different for everyone. For me, I have diarrhea with it. I have nausea. Some persons, their back hurt, my back hurts too. Some persons, their leg hurt, my leg hurts too. My chest hurts, my head hurts, my entire body hurts. Some persons, they just have cramps, they have heavy bleeding. I currently don't have heavy bleeding, but it still hurts. My bottom hurts, as in my rectum hurts, and that is the most severe pain you could ever feel relating to endometriosis, when your bottom hurts. I have a high pain threshold, and bottom pain bothers me severely. It is so annoying, it is so unbearable. It's no joke. So for me, my main thing is the rectum pain, and for some people their main thing is heavy bleeding or the severe cramps that they feel. It disrupts my digestive system. I cannot eat a lot of things flare me, while others, they can eat those stuff and it doesn't bother them. So the symptoms are different. Your symptoms can be different from my symptoms. Your friend's symptoms can be different from your symptoms. So it's different for everyone. You just need to find what works for you, what treatment plan helps you. Yes, there's going to be a lot of trial and error, but that's what it's about. Do not give up. Pray a lot. God will give you the strength to cope. I have heard of persons who have committed suicide because they cannot deal with the illness and the fact that persons treat them differently because of what they're going through, the fact that persons do not understand, the fact that they feel unloved because they have this cursed illness. This illness has been about for a long time. If you read your Bible, you will hear about the woman that was bleeding for years and Jesus healed her. Jesus healed her from her bleeding. So as you can see, this is not nothing new. This has been going on for years. It's just that persons are not talking about it, just like how persons don't talk about if they have a miscarriage. It's not something to talk about. It's rather taboo for them, and it's rather it makes them feel uncomfortable. I know there are many women who have had miscarriages and people don't know, because no one is gonna walk and tell people that you're gonna feel less of a woman. Endometriosis does bring on miscarriages for some people. It does in some people it just affect their infertility. They don't really feel pain or nothing. It's just that when they're trying to conceive and the doctors do tests and everything on them and they realize that it's endometriosis that is preventing them from getting pregnant, then that's when they know they have endometriosis. And some of them go about their life normally same way because they don't have other symptoms. It's just that they're infertile. I wouldn't say I prefer any one of the two because I do have problems with my ovaries or anything like that, but I do have pain every single day, even on medication. It's just that some of the pain is variable at some extent. As long as it's not level 10, then I'll bear it too. If it's level 10, I'll probably just cry and go to my bed. Yeah, so that's about it. If you have any questions, you can DM me at moyasmakeup_life on Instagram. I'll leave that in my description box. You can email me at lctamoya@gmail.com. I have a lot of medical stuff coming up to do, and I'm just trying to spread awareness and let people know that it's not the end of the world. You're not alone. We have support groups if you're interested. Share my video and don't forget to subscribe to keep up with what's going on with me. I have a lot of blood test results coming in and I'm gonna share that with you guys. I did a cancer test and I'll also share that with my community, meaning my endo community, and I have a CT scan to do. So share my video and don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell, because if you don't hit the bell, the subscription will not go through and you will not be subscribed and you will miss my next update. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao.